Hey there, YouTube. It's my triumphant return, Tolstoy Kafkaevsky, here to try to bring you more varied, much cheaper videos here. I've set up my crappy little portable speakers again, and I have my MP3 player here to talk to you about a concept I really like. A few years ago, I kind of got into, I guess you all kind of know by now that I'm into classic rock, but well, back in the 60s, I guess, is when they first started kind of coining the term rock opera, which, before we get into this, let me just define the difference between an opera and a musical. A musical is a bunch of songs strung together by plot that's carried out through acting, as opposed to an opera where the acting is in the song. It's like one continual song, almost, which is why for probably better, I'm crossing off Jesus Christ Superstar off the list of operas, you know, whatever. And there's more than I have here in my collection. I'm just talking about the ones that I think were most influential, most important. First one up on the list, SF Sara. Sounds like this. They were very psychedelic. They inspired The Who and Pink Floyd to do a lot of work. They said that they were working in the same studio as the Beatles, and in fact there are rumors that they, on several occasions, stole instruments and got high a lot. SF Sara had an interesting story about a man who almost pretty much went nuts because his wife dies, and he goes on a long spiritual journey with this crazy person in his imagination called Baron Saturday, and it reveals a lot of self-personal truths. Whatever. Anyway, it wasn't the best rock opera, really. It is a primordial rock opera. I excuse its faults because it was the first to kind of do this, and it inspired the next great opera on the list. Let me get ready here. There you go. Tommy by The Who. The Who did Tommy, which of course was the story about the deaf, dumb, and blind kid. This is probably one of the better rock operas. The story is interesting. It says a lot about prophets and about the spiritual time, or the spiritual setting of the 60s, and it helped the English mod movement along. Anyway, it's very Who-like. It's early Who, a little bit before, like, devoid of their R&B movement. Next on the list is, I don't have anything to show you with. I used to have the DVD, which we'll talk about that in a second. Let me get past all this. Here we are. The Wall by Pink Floyd, which a lot of people didn't know it was an opera. It has an interesting concept. The whole point being that the wall and the bricks are really all composed of this mental anguish of the character, who they just call Pink, has suffered in his life. That his father, who died in World War II, I guess, you know, he never knew him, his mother was oppressive, his teachers were mean, his girlfriend left him, and eventually, in the end, he just cuts himself off of reality, just blinks out, zones out, and becomes that way almost permanently, until the end, when, in his own imagination, he's put on trial and forced to tear down the wall and be part of society again. Music is fascinating. It says a lot about society. It's, yeah, you know. Okay. I'd have to show you the music on, let's see, next on the list, do we have it here? Yes, there we go. The second rock opera by The Who, Quadrophenia. Quadrophenia, awesome. Listen to music. Quadrophenia, in my opinion, was actually better than Tommy, and Tommy's music some consider far more clean, which is important to me, but to tell the truth, I like the bass work on this better. Keith Moon's drumming in this was amazing. The vocals, I think, stressed his voice a little bit more, well, and the story overall was more appealing to me as an individual. It's about someone trying to struggle, you know, to get along as a person of my age in society, especially when he has quadrophenia, which he describes as like schizophrenia, but with 4 personalities, which I'm sure we all kind of, you know, can level with that. We can all feel that way sometimes. Here's some of the songs. Anyway, see if I can find the next one, because it's not in my list of operas yet, so I just have to find it right on the MP3 player. See, gotta go to artists, And here we go. I'm trying to scoot it along to get to the song here. There you go. Now, a lot of people are familiar with Mr. Roboto, but people don't normally understand what it's about. It was actually a rock opera by Styx. It was okay. It was about a future where rock and roll was illegal, and the Robotos were robots that enforced the law of getting rid of rock and roll and imprisoning the rock stars. And Kilroy, the character in the rock opera, eventually hid himself inside of one of the Robotos. He actually stole its armor and started looking like it, and that's what the whole secret is about. I have it here. I don't actually recommend it simply because, other than Mr. Roboto, most of the songs don't have anything to do with the overall meaning of the opera, which is stupid. They're mainly just love ballads, which is really weird. Anyway, another thing to say is that the Wall, it's, the DVD of The Wall, which we used to have, I don't know where it is now, it's amazing. The cinematography is amazing. Everything that Pink Floyd did with that was amazing. The video of Tommy, on the other hand, was terrible. I encourage you all to go out there, buy it, and then burn it, just for that sake. Burn it. One last, kind of thing, because I'm sure I'm running out of time here. People that should, I only have 2 examples here, no, 3 examples. Bands that should have made rock operas. Here I have some vinyl. Kansas. This is, the opera, or not the opera, the album Monolith. It was way cool. Kansas was progressive rock, which means that it had a lot of classical elements built into it anyway, so that would have been perfect for it. And they had a lot of, mystic kind of undertones in almost all their work, which means, I think that an opera will be way cut out for them. Same thing, almost the exact same thing with Boston, except for Boston was more urban, so it may not have fit their style, but their rock was so clean and progressive, well. And the last one, which I don't have a example to show you, would be Queen. Queen alongside Styx was into this whole, what's the word, Broadway opera, or Broadway rock and roll, if you can kind of get that, vaudeville. So that's why I think they'd be perfect for it. Anyway, I'm sure you all don't care, but I had to make a video just to keep my mind off of boredom. Anyway.